Welcome to In Real Time, the sassy, no-filter podcast where we catch founders mid-pivot, mid-meltdown, and mid-magic. No polished stories, just raw, in-the-moment conversation about what it really takes to build something that matters. This is business, uncut, unpredictable, and happening in real time. If you already love the podcast, I would love to ask you to give us a follow, share this episode, and leave us a review, as it helps me to continue bringing incredible guests and episodes straight to you. Now let's get into it. Taren, welcome to In Real Time.
Thanks. Finally got me on.
Guys, this has been like a blackmail.
Truly.
It's truly been blackmail to get Taren on this fucking podcast. I cannot even tell you. Blackmail.
She's a busy single gal with no kids. Living her best life.
Honestly, I've never known someone, she's like, Tuesday, no. Wednesday, no. And I was like, well, you are fucking coming on this podcast. Anyways.
I think you got me at a weak moment and I had to say yes.
I think it was just so much pressure. You couldn't, like, what are you going to do, run away forever?
No.
Well, no.
Anyway.
Guys, I'm going to introduce Taren. Taren I have known for like nearly a decade, I think.
Yeah, it'd be probably
I think like 21. Long story short, I lived with Taren when I first moved to the Gold Coast. But the reason why Taren's in this podcast and on the podcast is you are a very well-knowledged marketing woman. She's been a marketing manager numerous times. But it's like your third position, marketing manager, or fourth.
Third or fourth, but 10 years in marketing manager
and
role.
And years before that. She's very, very knowledgeable. Taren is the person, I guess the reason why I wanted Taren on the podcast is Taren is the person that I speak to every week about every single thing to do with Kame. You're so knowledgeable. I go to you for a lot. And I think Taren's behind the scenes. She's doing the things. She is the reason why the brands blow up. And I think this is what a lot of marketing managers experience. Like, they are the people that do the thing for the brands to go to the next level, but they're very rarely acknowledged. Or I don't even know if it's an acknowledgement. It's just like you build these brands and you have all this wealth of knowledge. I do feel like the tables have turned. Now everyone's like, we need a really, really good marketing manager. But I think, I don't know. I think for a while there it was kind of like, oh yeah, they're a marketing manager and then whatever. Yeah. And I wanted to bring Taren on. I think I wanted to, like, A, we just talk all the time and I love your knowledge. And B, we just have so much to discuss.
I know, we do.
Guys, we've also got a chilled red. And we've just had Ryan, honestly. I roll in here. I'm 10 minutes late because Taren's here. I've got this bottle of red wine and it's got a cork. And I was like, fucking
Chuck
hell.
the little clip up here.
Yeah, chuck the clip up here of Ryan. Just King Ryan has gone and sourced the cork. Anyways, what are you moving through in real time in your career currently?
So as you mentioned before, 12 years working in the beauty marketing space. So I've always been in beauty. Luckily, I know it's like what a lot of girls would consider a dream job, and it is. So I'm very lucky in that regard. I don't think I could ever really happily be marketing something I wasn't in love with. So beauty, love it. At the end of the day, I have, Gold Coast. I've always sort of like been here. I don't want to move. I've traveled a lot and this is my home base. I love it. So over the past sort of decade, I've definitely seen an influx of like bigger brands come and sort of set up here. But however, it's not your Melbourne, Sydney. So my experience has been working for, four beauty companies now. And half of them were acquired by big corporate companies and then moved the office and staff down to Sydney and Melbourne, which is what happens around here. So I'm now recently in my latest role for the smallest brand I've worked for. It's literally like a 1.5 man band.
Yeah, just you and Katie out here just getting it done.
Which is interesting, a lot to learn, has its pros and cons, of course, and I think everyone can probably appreciate that. Much smaller budgets, but you don't have all the red tape. You don't have all the crazy sort of like putting together a, 20-page deck on why you want to roll out a certain idea. It's just like, I believe in this, let's go. So very exciting. We're moving through the fastest rebrand I think anyone could ever think. So when I started the role, I was basically like, no offense, but we need a rebrand.
Taren just comes in. She's like, I'm ready to fuck your shit up. We need to fix this shit, get it done.
Basically. So that is really exciting. We're basically in the midst of keeping the ship afloat.
Yes.
With our BAU sales, as well as in the background building another brand dealing with manufacturers, all that sort of stuff. We're so close to getting our first lot of bottles here to really start getting a ton of content made. So kind of living in two worlds at the moment, old brand or current brand and kind of new look, new feel, and then that's where it's just going to kick off. So
and I can't wait. Like, anyways, I can't say too much, but I literally can't wait. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
I want to start, like, as your career, obviously went to uni, came out, did the things. I think your biggest, like, what I know the largest chunk of is that you were marketing manager at Esme.
Yep.
I think that's a pivotal moment, right? Because you started there when it was smaller and you grew.
It was pretty big when I did start. However, I would say it's my most pivotal moment in my career in terms of the size of the business and the team I had. And I think
guess the growth, like when you left compared to when you began.
Yeah, just
massive.
a lot had happened over those years.
Yeah.
The CEO of the company at the time when I started, like, I've never come across anyone quite as smart as him, Luke Trainee.
What about me?
Props to you.
Fuck you, Luke.
Babe, you're talented in your own area.
You're probably not a CEO talent, but you're pretty talented.
But no, he taught me everything there is down to, you know, like the P&L and looking after that. And obviously, you know, when we're down at EE, which we'll talk about shortly, the North Star for everyone is not your day-to-day sales, it's your profit at the end of the day. And a lot of businesses overlook that for whatever reason, vanity metrics, whatever it might be. But profit for
I think it's lack of education as well. Like, I do think, like, a lot of people are out here just like high revenue, and they probably don't.
They're spending a lot.
Get enough knowledge under their belt to look at that profit, and it's also very scary.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, you know, we all want to shut our eyes and not look at the spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I know I was always like that. I was like, I really don't want to learn this or do it, but I was forced to do it, and I'm glad I have that knowledge now.
Yeah.
That's to say I don't do it in my current job, which is great.
Yeah, but you know it if you had to.
Yeah.
And it still drives your decision.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a conversation that actually I was having a little bit the other week about how marketing and data is one. And I think that people think sometimes, and I mean, I'm not a marketer by any means. I mean, I don't do a terrible job, but I don't have any skill in terms of, like, I haven't done it before. So what I've done is just, like, gut instinct. Yeah. But I do think how do I word it? What I feel like is that we went this massive way that marketing was like this glorified field. It was fun. It was the content. It was the PR. It was the fashion shoots and all of this. But I think the actual crux of marketing done right is a data-led marketing
100%
with passion and gut instinct in that.
It's interesting because I find, like, there are the multiple pillars there, but also just touching on what you said too, that it was like this glamorous like social content. When I first started marketing, there was no social media. That wasn't a thing.
She's showing her age.
I know, I'm showing my age and showing how long I've worked, but like our bread and butter was our email database.
So was Klaviyo a thing back then?
Was it No, I forget what email
like
platform.
A MailChimp situation?
I don't even know if it was MailChimp. I think it was another one, to be honest. But yeah, and that's literally before I remember when Instagram started. And I know in the past, however many years, it's been like 5-6 years now where it's really sort of taken off. That's like where customers are discovering you. So it's so different. So when you do go to, you know, uni and study marketing, sure, it's all well and good to have a degree. But when it comes down to it, your experience and your drive, and honestly, number one thing I always say is just like, know what is trending. You are getting into the minds of sort of the consumer, but you also need to know what is out there in the market. And whether or not you want to follow that those footsteps and whatever's trending, but like you need to know whether or not your brand wants to do that. I think it's just really, really important to have your finger on the pulse.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Completely. And I think a lot of people, I don't know, I just think in today's society, I think you can tell when brands are really nailing that and when they're kind of like wobbling off that, and you're kind of like,
it's tricky though, because we're sort of it's such a hard thing because yes, like we're stuck in between two worlds at the moment, obviously with like the rebrand sort of going on in the background, but following, these trends because you can, you know, land on an algorithm, get pushed out and get more audience. But then at the end of the day, if that trend is not your brand, like you shouldn't really be doing it. So
Agree.
there is that fine line where we're going to have some like make some decisions soon where it's just like, well, what do we do? Where do we keep that BTS content? Like probably is going to solely live on TikTok, to be honest. But I think that's just like now TikTok and Instagram really are different in the space, and brands are understanding that. Like you can't post the same content across both.
No.
Like at the beginning when TikTok was new, it's like, let's just post Instagram content on TikTok and see if it lands. And it's like, no.
No, because I do think that no matter how much we try to make Instagram an unaesthetical, more realistic thing, it's not.
No.
And I think it works for some brands. Like at Kame, we can kind of post every now and again, but even now we're moving into a bit more of a structure where that more, I don't even want to call it curated. It just has more of like it's a purpose-driven piece of content.
I think that
whereas TikTok's like,
it's your storytelling platform, your visual storytelling, Instagram, and then TikTok. Yeah, it does have a storytelling element, but I think more like your struggles and like behind the scenes sort of stuff. Whereas
so that real deep connection happens. Yeah, I think with a consumer.
Yeah, definitely. But I forget how we've ended up
here.
You
know what? So did I. I just had a moment where I thought, where the fuck are we?
That's just us though when we talk. Like we'll go around in tangents and end up circling back.
We could get so fucking off. We could get so off key with this podcast. It's ridiculous. But I think the purpose of today's podcast is that last week everyone knows that I'm in EE. We went down to so before Taren was working in her role she is now, she was doing a bit of like unpaid freelance work for me. Kame. It meant every phone call that I was having a breakdown, every issue. So when EE was doing their like live summit, I was like, come down, come with me, let's do it, blah, 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 blah. And then we hired Nicole like just soon after. So Nicole came. So me, Nicole and Taren got to go together to the summit. I really wanted to kind of go from start to finish what we'd learned, what we think was great, our takeaways, because I think it's one thing to see those kind of things on social media, right, and be like, fuck, I wish I was there. But I think hearing like honest feedback of like, not even feedback about it, like it was great, whatever, you take and leave what you want. But hearing what people took from it, I think is so powerful, especially going into Black Friday this year. If you are doing a Black Friday, it is going to be a different landscape. And I think being able to set yourself up for success with whatever your brand looks like is game changer. Yeah,
definitely. There were actually quite a lot of things I did take away. And I think reflecting on all my notes, after having them scribbled down a notepad, I took them out, put them, onto my laptop, and I'm like, I actually got a lot of learnings here. And not so much like you need to be doing X, Y, and Z. No. It's more the learnings around how they guardrail, like this is how you're going, these are the numbers you use to set your target.
Agree.
Stuff like that, which in my past roles, it's been like, well, let's try to grow by X amount on last year. It's just like it gets to a ceiling. Like growth isn't linear. No. Like it's always going to be the bigger you grow, the slower you're going to grow. And I think that is a really big takeaway for all business owners, that you're not going to 100% year on year grow every year. It gets to the point where it's going to slow down. And a lot of the time your ROAS are going to start slowing down too. And that's why I think that marketing mix is so, so important. And part of the EE sort of breakout sessions was a really big moment sort of for me, which we'll get to.
I reckon I think the good thing to take from this is I'm a founder, Taren's a marketing manager. So I think it's perfect because it's both sides, right? And we got the same takeaways, but we got different. So let's start day one. So you get there, there's like heaps of people there. You get a coffee. Me and Taren were both a little bit hungover and we had a terrible sleep.
My God. It was Millie's 30th the night before.
And I have to have air to sleep with. We should upload this video. Literally, I called downstairs. I'm like, excuse me. I normally travel with like this tiny silent fan, but we didn't have it. So I was like, do you have a fan? They're like, yeah. They bring up, it was like a fucking UFO about to take off in the room. It was like,
and Millie's like got her little earplugs.
I got earplugs,
and her silk bonnet and eye mask, and I'm out here raw dog in the night, being like sick, so I have to sleep throughout.
And she goes, I can't do it. I said, we're going to have to do it. It's my 30th. I don't know what's going on. But we woke in the morning. We just rolled over and I said, that was the worst sleep. Tara goes, that was the worst fucking sleep. I was like, oh my God, here we go. So anyways, cut forward. We meet Nicole, poor Nicole. We're like, oh my God. We go to the EE thing. So the idea is that you mingle, right? And I do think the beauty of EE is probably not what you're delivered. It's who you connect with due to those things. So everyone that is someone is there in the EE world, right? You get there, you go into your table, And the whole concept is that they go from start to finish and each day has a purpose. So the first day was all about numbers, Black Friday, data, that kind of vibe.
It was more the goal setting on day one, and then day
Yes.
2, I believe we covered a lot more of the creative iterations for your ads and personas.
And breakout rooms.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. So day 1, I think, what did we start with? That was like the first thing. I've got my notepads here a little bit. So I think what we started with a lot was data and reflecting on the previous year.
Yes.
So for me as a brand, I find that like a bit of a hard thing to go off because we've had such massive growth since last December. So I always find that stuff a bit difficult because I'm like, well, it's not, I mean, I can go off it, but it's not even close to what we'll do this year. So I do find it a little bit difficult, but it was a lot about knowing your numbers, knowing what offer you had last year, knowing what you did prior to that, your ad spend, everything like that. So that's kind of what I took from it as like a founder. Did you take anything else different from it?
So basically, I think the starting point was choose your offer. So they were like talking through, you've got your up 2% off, which a lot of people and a lot of fashion companies these days would be like up to 70% off.
Yeah.
Personally, me as the consumer, I don't personally love that marketing.
No.
Because the things you want and the big top sellers are never that discounted.
Yes.
And then you've got your site-wide discount,
which seems to be the gold star.
The safe gold star go-to, which is what I've typically done in the past and what we would always do at Esme. And then your sort of gift with purchase element. So
and Taren fucking loves a GWP.
I love a GWP. A good GWP though. It's got to be worthy. It's got to be worthy.
It's got to be worthy. So I think like let's say probably both of our brands that you work for, we do the same thing. We do a site-wide. My opinion is always a site-wide. I go off being a consumer. I'm not fucking with it up to 70% off. I'm also not scrolling through your whole site.
No.
I know what I want. I know what I'm coming to your site from. I know that I want the 25 or 20, 30% off, whatever you offer. I want that.
There was also like a great moment when they said those sort of mid-sale offers where, say, for example, you having your different collections, if you're potentially overstocked or something and you want to clear through more of it, throughout the middle of the sale, offering a deeper discount on something. So it could be like today only XYZ 70% off.
But I don't like that as a consumer because I feel like then
is that if you've already shopped and then you come back? Yeah.
I find that to me personally, I wouldn't do that with my brand because I think you lose trust. Because in the next year, you go to go on Black Friday, they're going to know that was your tactic the year before.
Yep.
And I think it breaks a bit of trust. That's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it.
I understand that. I think there's always going to be something. It could even be, I think that when we're talking to Marissa at the Lullaby Club.
Yes. And
in the past, I know Yvette, who was the founder of Esme, or is the founder of Esme, did like a calendar and put it out to everyone at the beginning of the sale and was like, this is what we're doing throughout the sale.
So if you don't want to miss out on those things,
so if you do want to change it up throughout the sale, letting people know ahead, I suppose is a good tactic to hopefully like curb, I suppose, like anyone that gets upset with missing out on a particular offer. Yeah,
I find it interesting. Personally, I would just go site-wide.
Yeah.
I think if your cogs are good, your numbers are good. Obviously, you have to have the right margin. Yeah. And I think for us at Kame, that's been an ongoing journey because obviously we got so big so quick. So we didn't have time. I didn't even know what the fuck a margin was. So now we know.
And of course, like you've got your like handmade pieces.
Handcrafted. It's a whole fucking thing. But we're good. I personally go site-wide. I also have an opinion. People get all arced up about Black Friday and the financial year. My opinion on those sales is it's not about me. Like I think, you can be like, we don't go on sale. We want to, a lot of it's about ethical reasons and a lot of it's about like, consumer habits. And I completely respect that.
Yep.
For me, I just think life is so difficult. There's such a cost of living crisis. I think it's a level of respect for your customers as well to be like, I want to do what I can twice a year.
Yeah. Get
your carts ready, stock up, buy what you want to buy, and I will do my best as a founder. That's my personal opinion.
Yep.
Not everyone has to agree. That's so incredibly fine. But that's how I roll.
I know in the past at Esme, we had actually tested running our own big moment sale versus piggybacking on, say, your after payday sale or whatever that might look like. And we always found that going at the same time as those industry-wide sales, there's one every month, after payday. What else is there? There's like Vogue Online Shopping Night.
There's a million.
And basically nearly just about every month there's something, and we always found that going at the same time as those industry-wide offers that we would do better. And I think that's just because people are seeing all these offers around and are like ready to shop at that point.
I agree. So they're wide. It's a psychology behavior.
So I can understand why a business might be like, I don't want to participate in Black Friday or end of financial year and do my own sale. It's like your own discretion, of course. However, we have tested it in the past. Skincare might be different to whoever's business is out there, and they might have a better time doing it outside of Black Friday, end of financial year, because we know, you know, of course, I know how expensive it gets to market,
so expensive,
especially on Meta ads with that at that time of year, end of financial year sale and Black Friday, like your cost to auction when every other brand is on there trying to pay to play and you're jumping in that queue and paying more and more and more. So I do understand both have their pros and cons, of course.
I think we're going to have a divisive opinion about at the end of this.
I'm kind of like neither here nor there. Like we've tested it with Esme. Those big moments worked best for us.
I agree. I think it has to be those big moments because I think it's
But if a brand really doesn't want to go on those, it's just then, test.
Pick your poison.
Test. If you want to make more revenue, like test what works for your consumer at the end of the day, because it's them that call the shots.
Agree. And pick your poison, prime your audience. It's your thing.
Yeah.
I think from there we went into what your offer was. We had a look at it goes into a lot of how much stock you have. So it's a lot of what we discussed is how much stock you have, so what you can achieve. Obviously at Kame we find that hard because it's a very different complex situation. We're not buying 100 tops and selling 100
None of us could figure out the dashboard at the time. So we were manually in the back end of Shopify working it out on the fly.
I was like, oh my fucking God. But I think it was about knowing your data. So having a look at the previous year, how many units did you sell depending on what you sold? Was it, let's say it's skincare. That's an easy thing to go off because Kame is confusing. Make it you sold 1,000 units and what did 200K. I don't know if that's even whatever.
Yep.
It's okay, well, if that's what it took at that thing, really assessing and getting to the nitty gritty of how much you did last year with how many units and what your goal is. And my takeaway was, can we please be realistic?
Well, what I really liked, and I've never had these numbers set in the past, was the take your BAU, business as usual, weekly spend. So work that out on one of your months where you've not done a big sale.
Your weekly revenue?
Weekly revenue, sorry. And then times that by 5 to 9. So if you're on the newer, smaller business end of the scale, times it by 5, maybe 6. If you're one of the bigger, more established brands, you're up to 9. Yeah. So choose a month that your brand didn't go on sale and just had business as usual throughout the month, and then work out what your weekly revenue was and then times that by in between 5 and 9 and you will get your Black Friday goal revenue. Realistic numbers.
Goal revenue. And I think it. A conversation me and Taren have all the time, and I've had it as well because I obviously before Kame had no idea what the fuck. I was like, I want to do this. We want to do this. Or then you work with an agency and they give you this massive goal and you're like, what the fuck? And then
but where do the goals come from? And that's the thing I've always worked with. It's a lot of the time, especially in corporate, it will come from a high up accountant that has got nothing to do with your business that will set a number because the overall business wants to see a percentage growth. But when you actually look and have people to be like, no, these are the numbers that you need to set it to, it's really good to see. And you're like, wait, I'm not going to set an unrealistic target and potentially end up failing, and me and my team feel shit that we've not hit these numbers. And then also too, you're factoring in how much you're spending on your marketing at a correct level. You're not overspending on marketing and then not hitting your revenue and you've made no profit at the end of the sale.
I agree. And I think also, oh my God, there's so many places that I want to go in this conversation, but I feel like that as we're talking, I'm like, realistic, know your units, have your stock. We can come back to that about the conversations they had on day 2, but know the stock that you need to actually get that outcome and then know your offer. So what are you offering? GWP, free shipping,
not in this economy with Australia Post.
Yeah, not with Australia fucking Post. But that's what was the thing. It was know your offer. So they spoke a lot about first day offer, second day offer. It depends on your sale. So, let's say it's a 4-day sale. Good window, 2-day hype, 3-day hype, whatever. Let's say 4-day sale. So it's a GWP, not a shitty fucking I don't know. Like some of these GWPs, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't
Not
want
your
that.
lowest selling SKU. People aren't buying it because it's not desirable. What I particularly love is tying in your GWP to your theme and identity of the sale. So that's when we start to talk about the creative element of it. That is what we're doing this year, and I'm really excited about it because it just connects beautifully to...
It's also intentional.
Exactly.
Like you've thought about the consumer.
Yep.
You've been like, what do they want? Like, I think some days we're out here, like, it's not... Business is... If you're running business as an ego thing, it is put it in the bin. It's completely fucking pointless. Like, what does your consumer want?
Yep.
Like, think about it. Take a second, think about it, and then factor that in how you can design something that's affordable in your cogs that you can put in your offer.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So what have been some sick ones we've seen? Because you would have really good knowledge about this.
It's GWPs. Let me just touch on there can be the pros and the cons of a GWP. So in a couple of my previous roles, when somebody not necessarily connected to the P&L makes the decision on what their gift with purchase it will be.
Like a budget?
Yeah, budget, cost of goods for this item, that means that you are still profitable. It can blow out. And what we have tested in the past was doing, I remember a while ago there where the thing for every Black Friday, a lot of brands did it, was the stacked GWP. So each threshold you hit, you got a bigger GWP, a bigger GWP. But how much does that end up costing? So one year we actually did do it. And then at the end of the sale, like the cost of goods for these GWPs were just so expensive that the following year we were lucky enough to have like an analyst on the team that was able to say, if you just do a 10% higher site-wide sale and no GWP, you will be more profitable. Okay. So it's learning the cogs and what level of spend you need to offer your GWP to. Sure. Obviously it's, you know, say for example, your site AOV is 120. Like you want to be doing between 130 to 150 to get them to that next level to spend more. But back to your initial question on good GWPs, I remember one year Bang & Body did a really good one.
Yeah, you always speak about this, but Priscilla did,
We always kind of had our eyes out and kept a bit of a record of GWPs out that we loved. And I remember one year for their Black Friday, it was their Black Friday. They did like this beautiful like travel set. And I think it was like a bag, a few minis, like a little cupping moment. And I just thought the whole set nearly like, I'm pretty sure a few of us girls in the office like did buy a few.
Yeah, but it was like enticing enough.
Yeah, mind you, unsure about what their cogs were in that because I know a mini cost just about the same amount as a full size, depending on how big your orders are.
Yes.
But packaging is a large expense in skincare. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so it looked like a really good GWP, but God knows if that was a year where they were like, oh, fuck, we're not doing that again. Agree.
Yeah.
So I think it's like thinking, like this is how I'm thinking at Carme. I'm like, what do they want, right? They buy jewelry. So they want a piece of fucking jewelry. Or I can't give away what we're bringing out.
Jewelry adjacent.
Jewelry adjacent.
Yeah. Fashion girlies.
You know? Yeah. So it's like, what can I figure out in there that is the right profit that's going to be like... Also, I think I'm a really good person for this because I don't care about GWPs. I don't sign up for wait lists. I'm not someone who's like an overly like, believe it or not, I'm not a big shopper somehow in the whole world. I'll buy something if I like it, but I'm not a big shopper. So I do find when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what would get me across the line? Like if I'm thinking of some of my favorite brands and I'm like, I want to do this, I want to get this, I want to whatever, like what's getting me across the line? And for me, it's something that I'm already buying from that brand.
Yep.
But I can only get in that area, which is like, you know, limited edition or whatever. So for Carme, it'll be like some type of piece of jewelry that's different than what we've ever done. Yeah. But it's smaller, affordable, and something that we can actually do.
I think you've told me what you're doing, but I kind of like forget. Obviously, can't give it away here, guys. Stay tuned.
Can't give it away here. I mean, we could. The podcast is like our friends, but, you know, we'll keep it secret. But I think like for me, I'm like, what the fuck are their customers going to want to buy? Yeah. So I think like advice is like sit down and have a look at what you sell. What could be your... So like, let's play like a bit of role play.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so make it I am a pajama brand.
Okay.
All I sell is pajamas.
Yep.
What am I doing?
Oh, what am I doing as your GWP?
Yeah. And this is off. This is
So
off
I
the
would
fire.
think sort of like obviously what is in line with like bedtime rituals that you're doing. So like sleep masks, hair bonnets, journaling, incense, lavender scented things, night lit masks. Like I could keep rattling them off. Like I think about all the things I use in bed at night when I'm in my pajamas.
Okay.
Something in that field.
Let's go like a kitchenware brand.
Oh, depends what they're selling kitchenware though.
I don't
Okay,
know,
recipe
funky.
book.
But it's
And
heavy.
collab could be like a cute little mini version, but like collab with a cool artist. And that can be your whole Black Friday identity. The theme of the book then ties into your whole identity for the sale. And those illustrations or whatever it might be tie into every design element. And that's the theme for the sale.
Skanky the world. Okay, jewelry.
Oh, here we go. Your industry. I am loving at the moment a lot of these like jewelry boxes. I know they're heavy though, so maybe like a jewelry bag.
Yeah.
Something like that would be really cute, like a travel jewelry bag.
Okay. Beautiful. Love that. Perfect. Okay, what about fashion? Like a small fashion brand. Let's go like a Yolki Club, a Spicy Dugong, like a Modelita Vacanza, like these smaller brands.
For them, they have got quite a few different items in their range. So like I believe they've got a few accessories and this and that too. So I'd look at what is potentially an accessory across the range that has sold really well that the customers love and then reiterate that.
Okay. Love that. What's another era? Like what is other people doing? Skincare.
So not to give away exactly what ours will be in the skincare field. However, think about sort of, I suppose, what your theme and identity for the sale will be and then tie it back to that. And that's what we're going to be doing. So it is within the skincare field, might not necessarily be for face. Think where else other than your face do you use
your biggest organ on the body. Yeah.
And then tie it back to your theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
The theme is like a coming up. Oh, guys, we're going to go so many different places. Did we finish on data? We finished on that with the amount of units.
Yeah, and we'll go to stock, I suppose, after.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I think the call out of like your top 20 SKUs are your 80% of revenue.
Should we touch on that quickly and then go forth to creative? Because I think we're going to get lost in the creative and then we're going to be here forever. Yeah. That was interesting. Touch on that.
So
touch on that.
When it comes to, I suppose, looking at what products to put across all your marketing, your top 20% of your SKUs make 80% of your revenue. So what are your top 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe items? It's different in fashion. I know there are variants. However, like, you know, if it's a particular style top, look at what style top that is.
They're going to make. We have 10 units. Yep. It's the 2 out of the 10.
So they should feature across
reference
all of your marketing. Yeah. The stock that you have on those, make sure you have it down to the T with how many units you need based on your target goal. It's easy to work out, guys. If you need the maths, comment below. We'll help you.
Comment below. Taren will be in the DMs. But I think to begin with, like thinking of like if you have 10 units of like if you have 10 different units, 2 are going to do 80% of the heavy lifting. And I think for me, I would never, even at this stage, when I heard that, I was like, right, okay, I would have bought all the beads, all the this, all the everything, and I probably wouldn't have thought that deeply about it. But now on reflection, I'm like, makes sense.
Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple where I work. There's about 8 hero full-size SKUs, and I think that 6 or 7 of them are like in our top 20% of the revenue. It's very evenly spaced. There is no one clear hero product. At Esme, it was the blue hyaluronic serum. Yes. That was, people knew the blue hyaluronic serum before they knew the name of the brand. Yeah. That was iconic. Yes. So where I am now, we don't have like a number 1 hero brand. It is also too like, I suppose, like safer in that regard, but we do want to build up to have like a hero or 2. So it's a little bit harder stock wise, but at the end of the day,
it's still a gauge that you can still easily gauge it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a takeaway that I really took away from day one. It was like, know your data, be ready, know what you're going to do store wide, know what your GWP is going to be.
Yeah.
Kind of be prepared in that way. I don't reckon you can ever be fully prepared.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, as prepared. If you have those 4 things at least done, comfortable, set.
Mm-hmm. I think there's probably like one more thing as well that I think on day one, and what we'd find every year is, when do I go on sale?
Oh, God, what a
So
combo.
every single year, so I think Black Friday is usually like the 28th or so of like
I think it's the
November.
19th, 20th, 21st, is it not?
No, it's usually right at the end of
It's
November.
27th, 28th, 29th.
I think it is the official Black Friday day.
Yeah.
So people go a week earlier, a week earlier, a week earlier. Now at this point, brands are starting on the 1st of November. So it's like, when do I go on sale?
Yeah.
That's the big question. So that's something that we all need to sort of work out.
Of course.
I think what the EE guidance was for a lot of people was sort of around that mid-month.
Yes.
Go between 3 to 10 days, depending on what your revenue goals are.
Agree.
So around that mid-month, everyone get ready.
And it is hard because end of financial year, we went the exact same time that we went the previous year, and every single person was on sale at that time, and that was the first week of June.
First week of June's wild,
it is
dude.
Very, because we do our timing of Black Friday because we're handcrafted. It isn't really about when, it's when can people make this order and we can do our best to have it to you for Christmas, because it's
I love that though.
handcrafted.
I think as well, when it actually does fall on the official Black Friday day, a lot of brands have something that goes live on that day as well. So it's trying to maintain like somewhat of a mid-month sale offering, so you don't lose share of wallet.
Yes.
While offering something on actual Black Friday day, like balancing that out is like quite tricky. Whether it's another little few hour flash something or rather, unsure. That's something that I know that we'll have to talk through.
Very bitey product.
Yeah.
That's what I think I took from it the most. So day one was kind of that concept. It was very much like data, know what's going on. And then we finished with Millie Turley and her conversation from Velocity, which I think, I mean, seeing what she's achieved is mammoth.
Yeah.
Wild. I can't really comprehend.
I think as well it sort of shines the light on these days being a content creator first and foremost, and then starting a brand off the back of that. Like, it's the new age. It's who you are as well, Millie.
It's who you are. And I will say, like, you know, she had a platform before she started, but I think it was only small. But I guess back then when she did start, a 20K platform was probably a lot more potent than maybe like 100K now. You know what I mean? Because it was a different world. But we ended with a conversation on that day. We went off, we met with lots of people, we had convos, we chatted. We ended with that. It was very much her talking about her experience, how she's grown, how she's been able to grow, I guess, with stock, money, issues, the whole thing. I think because she is a buy the product, sell the product, I struggle sometimes to relate because I'm a bit different in that way. But I do, obviously you're still very inspired. You come away being like, amazing, incredible. Then we go to day 2. Day 2, I think for both of us is probably the most powerful day.
I think so, for sure. Also, we weren't slightly hungover that day.
Guys.
So that was good. We had a better night's sleep. We had sleeping.
We knocked ourselves out. Oh my God. Anyways, whatever. We are full adults. But I do think day 2 for me was the most like oomphy.
Agreed. I think diving into this was sort of like your more meta creatives day, which was a lot of the. I think one of the biggest things for me was safe bets.
Agree.
So, for example, what content do I put out in ads? They recommended looking at the past 6 months, I believe it was, on your top hero creatives. So go into your Meta Ads account, look at past 6 months, what top, you know, like let's just say 5 creatives made the most revenue, and then use that and then put your sale overlay on that. And that was just like, love it, because that's really easy to do. You're not creating fresh creative. And then I think the other like 20 to 30% was new creative based on educated past winners. So honing into your brand personas. And then we touched on brand personas, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah,
which I think is very much your world and you and Nicole's world. I think I've never really touched on that because I've just been like out here surviving. But I think brand personas is definitely something that if you are going in and you want to hit that big hairy goal, you need to be talking to the right people.
Exactly. And I think nowadays, especially like with the paid ads and the
Yeah.
algorithms, like it pushes who you're talking to these people. Like if you are talking to pregnant ladies, you know, your mothers, that's definitely like
Yeah.
our sort of world that we talk to.
Yes.
If you do say that in your content, if it's in your captions, like it pushes it out to those people. The algorithm knows that. So knowing who your key 3 to 4 customers personas are is like obviously very, very important.
Agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I also think what I took from that day, and I think we both went to really cool breakout rooms. And they have
Yes.
all these founders, right? They have 25 founders, you pick, they go real fucking quick and you get to go sit and
They basically count down to open up this
it's
list
a wild world. Me and Taren are laughing.
of different people, like founders, and what their like breakout session
Their
is about.
slogan was. Yeah.
And I remember like scrolling up and down to my list
Yeah.
being like, I can't find my girl.
And we're rushing. We're like, quick. So I don't know whether we touch on that before or after, but the Be Loud the month before, and this comes back to the meta ad situation. So for me last year on reflection, we did a private sale, like just community only, no email, no public, nothing at all. No one knew anything. Just a private, at the beginning of November. That went amazing. Then we did a public Black Friday on Black Friday. It wasn't a failure by any means, but I wouldn't do it again.
Return customers are our bread and butter. I think skincare for sure. Like I think our return customer is 80%. And
I think also
20.
knowing your consumer behavior around Christmas. Like we are a gifting brand. We do jewelry. It's for the mums. It's for the women. It's for the queens. All their partners are coming. We didn't need to do a second sale. We could have done a really good big sale at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Done it right. Done it thorough. But controversial, I don't think I would spend a lot of money on my hype as, say, EE would recommend.
I think even like now they were saying max 1 to 3 days, and one of the top 10 mistakes for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they had a great list on that, was overspending on hype.
Yes.
That was included.
Yes.
And I know with our customer database, with 80% of our revenue coming from existing customers, I'm not paying to go hype on Meta.
No.
I'll be paying and pushing out that spend in our media when we're live.
Yes.
So hype spend, I would really be careful there, depending on what your business looks like.
And the reason I don't agree is for our price point.
Yes.
I do think it depends, like, and like take this with a grain of salt, right? So like what Taren's saying, if you're I reckon if you're over 50% return customer, I would probably be, I don't know, I wouldn't be doing a hectic amount. But if you're also a brand like Carme, right, a higher price point, a bigger investment, the people that are converting, majority of people, I should say, are people who know you.
Yeah.
They know what they want. They've had it planned. They've got it ready. They're there. They're ready. They're waiting. Converting someone in top of funnel, cold top of funnel, doesn't know who the fuck you are, doesn't know your brand, doesn't trust you, at, say, a $230 necklace is so rare.
100% for if they've not heard of you, if they're right at the end of sort of, in that mid funnel, like ready to purchase.
Oh, different story.
Fantastic. But like, as you said, that top of funnel, even for sort of our price point, you're sort of going to convert, it's going to be those 50% off brands that do those flash 50%. They're going to get like impulse purchase of somebody.
Exactly.
That's sort of going to be the winners in that space.
So I think just know your brand.
Yeah.
I think look at that kind of like, for sure we can take all these things. We can take how much you need and what you want to make and but know what kind of brand you have.
Exactly.
Do you have a high returning customer rate? Do you have a high product? Like what kind of product is it? Who are you targeting? What's going on? What's the point of what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
For us, I don't think I would spend a heap amount on hype, but one thing I took away from them that we will be implementing is in that September, October period, instead of just spending a fuck ton of money on Meta or all that kind of stuff, do a collab with another brand that's aligned. Use their top of funnel. Do like an artist collab. Do something that's going to connect two brands that are your ideal consumer base. And you can speak to this more, but I found that as a founder, I was like, I'm doing that.
I love that.
So
That's a great point to touch on. Essentially, from August 1st, sort of rule of thumb in e-com land leading up to Black Friday is to build your audience. And the best way to do that is, like Millie mentioned, through collabs. or some really great lead gen on Meta
opportunities.
About that.
So I feel like that's something that they didn't touch on.
At my previous role, like we cracked the code on generating quality leads.
Yeah.
So each month at Esme, as a marketing team, we had a great team. CRM team were a big part in this, the email specialists. We would run Meta ads that was a skincare adjacent prize. So it would be an LED face mask, let's say.
Yeah.
Along those lines. And then so you'd get people entering that are interested in the skincare space. So you would get quite warm leads.
Yeah.
And then obviously they would flow into our Klaviyo platform.
Yeah.
They would get the welcome email, maybe a little welcome code to try to get them across the line nice and early. So that was a great way to build our email database, and that way we own the customer at that point.
Yeah.
And we were paying, I think, some of the best lead gen comps we did around 50 cents per lead, which is great.
Incredible.
To do. So you have to have a really
you've got to have a good you've got to have a
good budget
I think in saying that, like, I do think one thing, if anyone's listening that hasn't done this before, it has to be something that is worth them buying in. It has to be the right product.
I would say it needs to have like an RRP of like at least sort of like the total prize pool, like $1,000. But that is going to pay off tenfold, and you need to know the data on your conversion rate. So make sure you run these sorts of things and test 2, 3, 4 months down the track from that list of leads who has converted, and then you'll learn your conversion rate.
How are they doing that? Like, how are we testing that?
So you'll have your CRM team that hopefully know how to run their numbers.
We don't have CRM teams, babe.
So in Klaviyo,
we're in the fucking pits of hell.
In Klaviyo, Nicole, so if you were to set up your lead list, she would be able to look back in time out of that list who has converted.
Great. So you're saying that we have our landing page, we have our conversion in.
You don't even need a landing page because they're native Facebook forms. So they enter on Facebook, so they don't even have to go off platform. So they're more likely to enter. Okay. And then it feeds through. You have to connect Facebook through to Klaviyo. Yeah. It's a little bit techie and a little bit clunky, but once you get the hang of it, like, it's fine.
Maybe ask Claude.
Yeah.
Surely Claude will be able to help.
Surely.
We can do it.
Surely.
And then the information's in the back end of Klaviyo. Yeah.
All the leads feed into Klaviyo, and then they get triggered a welcome email based on thanks for entering our competition. Perfect. So great way to build your leads up in the lead up to Black Friday. Yeah. We mentioned collabs. And another one I have tried in the past was, this was sort of a big play we did one year, and it was leaning into sort of your BVOD and SVOD, so a lot of your streaming ads. So say, for example, I'm sitting at home on my couch watching Love Island, and I get served a skincare ad.
Interesting.
That's placed for a purpose in those key months leading up to Black Friday. Yes, the CPMs are higher. However, if you do want to diversify your marketing mix and not be handcuffed to Meta, then it is good to test these other arenas. If you're at that scale, I wouldn't recommend it for brands that are on sort of, the smaller end. But if you are sort of at that point where you do want to try a new platform, then definitely try it. Okay. The only downside to that is it is harder to sort of track who's converted. There is a downside.
Yeah, but I guess you'd hopefully be able to you'd be able to post-sale look at all of those marketing funnels, and you'd be able to try to kind of pin together, you'd be able to see
there's a lot of gut feel in marketing. And that comes down to, like we did mention data before, but so much data these days isn't connected properly. There's a lot of black areas. Attribution in marketing is like the biggest frustration ever. Always has been. Like, how is the customer converted? Where have they converted? Yeah. Yes, I love Triple Whale for this. I'm a big Triple Whale girly.
Can we get Triple Whale to sponsor the potty?
I mean,
write this into a thing. I'm sending it to them. Triple Whale, sponsor this fucking podcast. Get us, every single person listening to this podcast, like at least half price. It is wild.
Yeah, 100%. Like, as a marketer and as a business in general, you should know you're spending however much money on marketing.
Exorbitant amount of money.
And what if you're spending it in the wrong area because you don't have the correct stats? And I've always said, like, Meta's going to claim just about every sale. Like, you go live with a promotion and you send it out via your email database. Oh, Klaviyo sales go up for the day. Meta sales go up for the day. It's just like, no. Not necessarily. And then what Triple Whale can do is look at the exact creative that brought in brand new customers. And then it can also, it uses its algorithm to sort of work out say, for example, a customer touched, let's say, Meta, Instagram, TikTok, then signed up to your email address and then converted.
Yeah.
It breaks down where the customer has touched and when, and then gives them all a percentage of attribution based on the journey.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit of a black box, just like Meta. You're not going to know the exact formulation on how it's working, but it's going to give Klaviyo a lot more attribution than Meta.
Yes, agree.
So
it's also very expensive, guys. But I do think the bigger you get,
it's worth it. At the moment, we don't have the next level up, which is what I'd like to get down the track.
I was speaking to Marissa about it, and they're just looking at kind of edging into it, just for mainly the Klaviyo data.
Yeah, because it's based on like rev, isn't
and also
it?
When
they
you,
were saying.
Well, I thought it was a flat fee, but it is. It's based on revenue now. Yeah. So depending on how much you make but I guess also everything is in perspective, right? If you're making, let's say $1 million months. Mm-hmm. For them to have a look at all that data, if you spend let's say $5,000 a month, it's really nothing in comparison to the revenue that you're making for what you'll get back, and then you'll regenerate. And when I went down to the EE thing of the day of my birthday, there was an event I went to with Marissa, and it was like this, I'm going to forget the name of it now, but it was like an event for all businesses to go there. And they spoke about how they reckon that once you get on the platform, you get a minimum of 15 to 20% of revenue growth immediately, more or less.
And that's because Triple Whale is an attribution platform.
Yes.
And it works really well with Klaviyo. Is not an attribution platform.
No.
So when Shopify talks to Klaviyo, it doesn't send all your abandoned cart signals properly. So apparently, I've been chatting to the rep recently. Triple Whale sends more data through to Klaviyo, so you're able to send, say, for example, more abandoned cart emails. So they reckon sort of you get about a 30% increase on your Klaviyo abandoned cart email, whatever that might look like when you sign up. So you need to do the numbers to see if that works out for you. But it's really, really educational in terms of what creative drove a new customer. Let's do more than that. Let's do more of that, because I know we're in the position where a lot of the revenue is coming still from returning customers.
Yeah,
and so it's like, well, why am I paying
taking it? Because
Meta for this? So
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go into, so be loud before your sale, more or less. Be loud, be smart, do what you can. I want to go into our breakout rooms before we finish with what we would do if we had a brand. I mean, we'll talk about my kind of plan. But I think let's go into our breakout rooms. So I went into different breakout rooms. I went into the lovely founder of Nimble.
Yep.
Her little slogan was build a marketing team that can generate. It was like something it wasn't a financial amount. It was work autonomously, or I don't really know I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was about marketing.
Yes.
So I guess my takeaways from her talking, I went into that one obviously because we've hired Nicole, which is a marketing manager. We have Teagues. That side of the business is starting to grow a lot more. And I think for me, I've never had to manage senior staff. I've never had to do any of that. I kind of wanted to know her opinion. What I took away from that was they do one drop a month. Their systems and processes are everything, which I feel like is most businesses my age or stage is biggest letdown. And I can imagine everyone listening is probably thinking, same, right? We don't really have any systems. They're all in my head. And when they're in my head, they're nowhere else and no one else can do anything effectively. So I guess my takeaways were the critical path, which is a very marketing thing. It's kind of like what the normal day-to-day launch plan is. Am I correct?
Yes.
Kind of. This is what I've taken from it. So you have your normal launch strategy, A to Z, what you do. The whole team has their roles. That's the critical path.
I would further, and we spoke about this the other day, break it down to your A launches, B launches, C launches, because you're not going to be going sleepless nights for a C launch. That's an A launch.
Yeah. So an A launch for us is a new charm necklace, charms. It's a big thing. A C launch for us is an apparel piece or an accessory piece, because that's not our main hero product. That's what I took away from her. Sequence of events for launch. That's what I also took away. Have a really clear expectation of everyone's role. Have all dated time things. We use Trello. You Asana.
Yep.
Everyone has their thing. She spoke about a really sick Google sheet that she had. I'm not there yet, so we're going to pass that. Now, Monday morning meetings. So I've actually implemented this myself. 15 to 30 minutes, you go over the critical path and the project you're working on. For us at Carme, we've just moved into Georgie's our production manager, Nicole's our marketing manager, and then everything kind of flows beneath. We're still figuring that out. We're still kind of in the mix of whatever, but we've been having a Monday morning meeting at 9:30. I feel like it's really integral to be on Monday. And at first I was going to have Mondays off and Wednesdays, or not off, lol. I was going to work from home on a Monday and a Wednesday, and I think I've realized now that Mondays really set that tone for what's kind of happening and the roll-on effect for everyone. Shouldn't be longer than 30 minutes or no one knows how to communicate.
Agreed. Depending on how big the company is and how many departments there are.
For sure.
Yeah.
A company my size where there's 5 of us at the table, it shouldn't be more than 30 minutes. It's kind of what I took from her speaking. You more or less go over critical path, BAU, what's going on, where you're at, and then you'll have a look at your Trello of all the things that you should be up to. And then it feeds backwards. What she kind of said in that is that she doesn't lead those conversations. Her staff lead the conversations because she's not, I mean, she's in it, but she's not directly doing it. And it's a really good way. What I loved the conversation, what I loved and took from it was it's a really good way for then the staff to kind of catch someone else and be like, if you have a big team, obviously it's different. But like say Georgie hasn't uploaded the products. It's like, have you done that? Oh no, fuck, I haven't. I'll do that. Like it's a good way for everyone to kind of catch each other and help each other is kind of what she spoke about. Number 2, Shop My. This is an ongoing conversation that keeps coming up in my world, especially over in the US. Shop My is a platform like is it LinkedIn? No, not LinkedIn.
Like to know?
Like to know it. So Shop My is an affiliate platform that a lot of brands are using now. It more or less, my take from the platform is that you go onto the platform. It's $2.5 grand a month for most consumer brands. You go on there, you get all the influencers' information, their addresses, everything like that. You send, that seems to be the best way to do it. It's a lot of money. I'm not doing it right now. One day, maybe.
Well, you've got your collabs.
We have
affiliate
collabs.
Program.
Yeah, but it's different because you've got to reach out to them. They've got to respond to you.
Yeah.
Whereas Shop My, you just get their access to what they want. But anyways, if you're big enough and you're listening to this.
Amazon storefront,
all those things you can use. The biggest takeaway I got were these 2 things. Role clarity. Everyone needs to know exactly what the expectations of their role are. And Taren's probably looking at me like, yeah, that's normal.
No, I do understand what you're saying. I have obviously been in the area where, you know, you're leading a team of XYZ girls. There are your senior staff like that understand what their role is and what they're doing. But there are sort of, of course, in every business, a lot of more junior staff that do need a little bit of guidance on what their roles is. And roles change.
They do.
All the time.
And they blur.
They do.
100%. So she spoke a lot about role clarity to begin with. And then when those lines start to blur, you address them really quick. Why is that line blurring? Do we need to hire someone else here? What's going on? Has your role changed? And I think for me, and I see it already in the workplace that we have, it's like addressing that really early, like what's going on? Why is there change happening here? And I think getting really clear on it. And the last thing I took from her speaking was that team starts from the founder. And she spoke about how everything used to be founder-led, like her-led. It was her. And now it's team-driven. So she sets the tone of like what they're bringing out. So let's say it's like a fucking orange set. So she was like, I bring that to the team. They go away. They kind of devise all their ideas and they bring it together. The marketing team kind of own that, the marketing manager, then they bring it to her.
It's also part and parcel of you as a founder and founders in general sort of like letting go of these areas and allowing your team members to have the ownership of it and then presenting it back to you and saying this is what I'm going to do because you can't do everything. You simply cannot do everything.
But it's tough.
Yes.
It is tough.
Yes.
And she just kind of spoke about how she went from being like too much to giving way too much away to now she's kind of landed in this perfect middle ground.
Yes.
And I think for me, hiring a few people and even hiring like the first staff I hired, it's so scary, but I think allowing people to show you what they can do is very important. That's what I took away from it. I don't think it was like life-changing in terms of, sorry, I don't mean like in a bad way. I mean like I already knew that in my gut, but I think sometimes it's so nice in those moments to receive that little bit of like, I don't know, reaffirming and like reminder.
Yeah.
And those reminders can sometimes be more powerful than the information that you're getting.
100%. And that was the same thing. Like, my hallway session. Hallway is like such an interesting term.
I know, it was such like a
I know,
hallway girl.
I know.
Yes,
It's just like a breakaway session with these expert founders in a particular area. I went to this session. I believe it was named something along the lines of when Meta stops to work.
Taren is obsessed with him. We're going to end this conversation on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Essentially, I have been questioned over the years as a marketing manager.
Yes.
Taren, if we were to turn off Meta ads tomorrow, what would it do to the business?
Yes.
And I've been like, well, let's try it and see what happens. But unfortunately, there's always been stakeholders in the back end that it would be too risky for us to try.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer if you have got a strong marketing mix as a company, you should not rely on Meta ads. It should be the cherry on top of what you're doing.
Agreed.
It should amplify your message and bring all those extra new people in.
Yeah.
It should not drive the revenue of the business. So the session I went to was for a company called Creator's Friend. They are a notebook journaling stationery brand.
Yeah.
Anyway, the founder, was building the company. I believe she got up to $300,000 months.
Yes.
Then hit a ceiling with Meta.
Yeah.
She couldn't grow any further. Her cost on Meta was starting to grow, get higher and higher and higher. And so she started to lose profit. She was becoming unprofitable. She had to stop selling into the USA, had to cut that. Then got to a point where she's just like, what am I fucking doing here? Yeah. And she actually came from, I believe, a creative direction background. And she was just like, my actual skills I haven't been putting to use, because she got sold on the Meta drug. Yeah. Which 5-6 years ago, COVID times, my God, every single founder out there was $1 in, $10 out. Scale, 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 scale. Now it's like everyone's done that. And what happens when everyone does something? It's just like what doesn't work really now for a lot of people. Yes, like I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying like you have to look at the data when it stops to work or when it slows down. Yeah. So what she then did was pull back her spend on Meta and then use that money to fund a staff member. Her very first full-time staff member, her senior staff member, was a author.
Which is just the most rogue decision.
I know.
When you actually
Who was based in America.
Crazy.
I know.
Okay.
She flew her over here. She's now living here. Essentially, she wanted a storyteller to write the narrative of this brand world she wanted to create.
Yeah.
So.
Fucking balls.
I know.
Big, giant balls. And I love it.
I know, I love it too. Yeah. And so what then happened was she brought this storyteller on. They started to craft these narratives and storytelling moments. Yeah. And I know the buzz term storytelling is like just out there in the marketing world at the moment. Yeah. But truly it's about creating an experience and what your brand visually is. What's the identity? What does it stand for aside from the products it sells? People outside of fashion, I think especially in skincare, I've seen this now. It's not an instant gratification purchase. No. By any means. No. It is a long-term, 3 months it takes for something like that to affect your skin. So to get new customers, you will have to sell a world to these people. Yeah. And brands that we all know and love that are doing it well, like Hailey Bieber, come on, amazing. Bro. Merit, doing such a great job. Summer Fridays, like look up to them doing a phenomenal job. Mind you, huge brands, huge budgets. We're not out.
But you can still take that and adapt that on the budget you have. Yeah.
100%. So essentially she ended up sort of doing that, and then they were able to start putting more money back into Meta and like just grew just like so fast from that, because that's what people were sort of buying into. So that's sort of like what we are currently doing. Yeah. We haven't necessarily made the jump yet to scale down our spend. But there was sort of like this realization sort of the other week where like, yes, that's what we need to do to unlock money to put into creative, to put into storytelling, to really build this brand up and then scale back up on Meta, because the amount of money that we were sinking into Meta, our spending is a lot. It's basically like 90% of our marketing mix is Meta.
It's a whole full-time wage.
It's more than one full-time wage. It was literally like 4 full-time wages.
And we have this conversation a lot and we talk about it. And I think we do agree mainly. I think and I speak about this all the time, whether it's like on my stories, whether it's on the podcast, whether it's someone like diversifying what you're doing. If all your eggs are in one basket, it's just like a waste of money. Yeah. Because we all know Meta is a refresh system. Like You put your content in, it eventually burns out. If you don't get it in that burnout period, you waste that money.
It's
and
a
restart
drug.
again. It's a drug. It's
That
a
is a
gambling.
drug.
It is, but it's gambling.
Yeah.
And it's not like that's the thing. It is a gambling system.
Yeah.
And I do think we're going. I mean, I've never really had this problem because I guess I've always been someone who's happy to invest. I've always been happy to invest in stuff. I've always been happy to do that when it comes to the stage of like, you know, we need that staff member. I'll make it happen. I'll drop my wage. I'll do whatever it needs. But the biggest thing for us was like content, having a vision.
You do a phenomenal job at content. Yeah. Phenomenal job.
Yeah, and that's because I've been willing to like, you know, hire and put the effort in and get the person. But that
even
still takes content.
You personally.
Yeah.
As well. Like phenomenal job. Like picking up your camera, always doing everything.
Yeah, doing
and that's what drives a brand in this day and age. That's literally what has driven you to get where you are. Your organic content.
Yeah.
And your meta ads are amplifying your organic content. And if you aren't there organically, you're going to really struggle to get there on meta ads.
Because you've got to think about it. Think about the touch point of your customer. For us, it's up to 12 times. Like, if you're paying for 12 times, like if you're paying for someone to see your ads 12 times before they convert, it's like a $70 CPA. It's a fucking complete waste of time. If you're posting on socials, you have an organic situation, like you've got a strategy, you're doing anything, the scrags of the earth on like organic socials, maybe it's 8 times, maybe it's 6 times. And then hopefully every single thing you're doing everywhere else, meta is 2 times.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? Like, I think, well, no, not do you get what I mean? Of course you get what I mean because we talk about it. But I think that is one thing. And I do think having having her talk and having a few other people talk about this.
They did say to her.
They're changing their tune.
She was invited by them this year specifically to talk on that.
Yeah. So
they're understanding it's changing. Cost of living. People aren't out here spending money. This year is different. This year is almost like a reset in terms of like e-commerce, like what is going on. Looking year on year now, it's almost like it's too long ago to really kind of compare.
No.
So they specifically asked her to come on for that exact reason. They want everyone to succeed, and they're like, you need to evaluate who you are as a brand. And I think now investing in these creatives is your number one, should be where your money goes to first and foremost. And then strong CRM, so strong email database. Yeah. And then probably thirdly, I would be like ads at that point. So organic, nail it.
Ads are the last thing you're doing, and that's like the little cherry on top. Yeah. That's the last thing that it takes to get them across the line. You know what I mean? And I think that is what I love about EE. I do feel like they're so transparent. They're so honest in the education they deliver. I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, they're just trying to get you into some fucking like meta ad world, which of course they teach you how to do meta ads. That's one of their main things. But they want everyone to succeed. They're trying to adapt with the time and learn. And like the tools they built out are fucking wild. Like, you know, when you look at them, you think it's insane. But I do think what me and Taren talk about all the time is like that diversification. So if you had a brand, let's say you had a sick fashion brand. Yep. Because that's what you should have. But anyways, God, it was hard enough getting on the podcast. Fucking hell. I've
also got 2 fucking properties over here, dolls. Can't be
like,
too loose in my investment.
Yeah, literally. One day we'll do it. But I think a really good way to kind of end is 2 things. Yes. Like, let's speak about like creative, your opinion, and what you would be doing. Regularly BAU and also coming up to a sale period. So let's start. Sorry, that's a lot. Let's start. What brands, other than like the skincare brands that we're seeing at the moment, what smaller brands do you see at the moment that are doing really good for like the queens to go watch?
I really see my entire algorithm's basically like beauty at this point. However, I do really like Gentle Monster, of course, are a favorite for everyone. Like that's just outrageous the stuff they do though. Like let's be real, nobody's got a budget to set up like a huge museum of oversized product. Yeah. Another one, I'm obsessed with Flamingo Estate.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh my God, if you haven't seen
Flamingo Estate?
So Flamingo Estate is, I believe he's LA based. So I believe it was in COVID.
Yes.
Bought an old farm estate.
Right.
And started selling fresh produce to people that throughout COVID couldn't get food, Next thing we know, he's got his own like orchards on his property, and he's now soaps, coffee tables. Isn't like his coffee table books are sold in Mecca. The storytelling's beautiful, beautiful work.
Okay.
So hats off to them.
Storytelling,
Look
everyone.
at Flamingo Estate.
Okay. Anyone smaller? Anyone more achievable? I know it's probably not what you really kind of.
No, there are. It's just so hard to think like off.
You know who I think's doing really well?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm butting in.
Go on.
My turn. New York. What's that brand that did that pop up in New York when I was there? The clothing brand.
Oh, not with Jane. I forget.
That's gonna drive me crazy.
I hate that.
No, we know it. The cute little crop top with the button. Oh, it's gonna drive me
Mode
crazy.
Mischief.
Mode Mischief. Like they're doing it really well. They have built that world. Like I personally am not I'm not confident enough to wear their clothes, like the tiny little things, but I'm still in that shop.
I love Van Roy.
Van Roy is doing very good. Also Assembly, the label.
Yep.
I'm trying to think about some of the smaller brands that I just think like you've created just like an essence. I mean, Gentle Habits, but I feel like they've always nailed that.
Yeah,
they've nailed it with their collabs. They've nailed it with the world. They've been consistent the whole time. I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Bags.
Like they
do a great job. I really love.
They've also just got a sick fucking product.
I know, and I think sort of that colorway, really the different colorways just are again that fashion product that can really like lean into a particular world when they're launching, which I love to do. It's a whole lot more difficult when you've got like a black skincare product bottle that you need to. But anyway, no, I'm trying to like there'll be more. There's
different cons though, because then you're launching every month and you've got to think, you know what I mean. It's a different beast.
It is. You're trying to get more new customers at that point.
So I guess the women that are listening to this are probably smaller founders, you know, like we're out here, we're hustling, we're doing all of it. We're, you know, it's stressful, rah. Outside of what we've spoken about, if you were to join a smaller, like let's say Carme, perfect example, right? Yep. You were to join Carme, what are the first things that you're doing?
I think that I'm loving in this day and age, and I've probably in the past week, I've really kind of like, there could be like a casual position. I'd love to soon have somebody casually doing this. It's not like a full-time role, but back to old school guerrilla marketing. And when I say guerrilla marketing, I'm talking about getting out into the public. There are so many community events going down between the Gold Coast and Byron Bay, like all these flea markets,
fucking idea as you're
these
talking.
girlies that are absolutely everywhere, like these conscious connection groups that I DM'd them this other week. We're going to send them product, like, but myself and the founder aren't always available to be like on this day, on this weekend, like at all these events handing out product. I would love to have somebody who like loves our brand as much as we do to be able to sort of hand out our product and do it at all these events. Like I could easily ramble off 5 events per week that are on that you could go to and connect with people and hand out your product. And then they get to physically try it, hands-on. So love that. And I also do love the collabing with another small brand. Yeah. Swapping like whether it's some smaller price point items or a competition prize and then exchanging audiences. I think everyone knows that that's like a great
It has to be aligned.
It has to be aligned, of course.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the guerrilla marketing thing though, because it is coming back.
100%. People now are connecting in real life more than ever. Yeah. And it means a lot.
So everyone wants their phone off. Everyone wants to touch, feel, listen, connect. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
So that's probably what I'd be doing. Out on these streets, baby.
Out on the streets. We're getting out on the streets. Okay, so we've spoken about that. We've spoken about we've spoken about what we're doing if we're a brand. I think like to end off any gold nuggets, like out of all your years of wisdom, I feel like we can have Taren on whenever. Now I've blackmailed her on the one time. So we can make a list of questions to ask. I think there would be so many people. I also really want to bring this thing onto in real time where we sit with like a, you know, I hate saying smaller founder because it's so fucking condescending. No, I mean like
a couch sesh, but not this couch like in our jammies. Like
a chill couch where it's like someone can sit in front of you and be like, this is my brand, what do you reckon? And you can have a conversation and other people can listen because they feel like it's so interesting. Yeah. But what other little nuggets of wisdom do you have? I know there's one that you haven't spoken about, and that's like product innovation. Oh, I think you've been in charge of a
passion of mine.
Yeah, yes. Taren's been in charge of a lot of very cool product innovation that nobody would know as you because you're the marketing manager and not the founder. But I think product innovation is probably up there, I would say, in today's society, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think in a world of everything looking the same, if you are not innovating on what you're doing or what you can do or what's happening in the world, I really do feel like you blend into one.
Agreed.
And the brands that are standing out are the brands that make it's something like, let's say fashion. It's still a jacket, but I want to know that that's your jacket when I see it on someone in the street. Like, what are you doing different?
So I think coming up with like an interesting format for something that's so sort of common. So say, for example, at Esme, the cleansing butter balm was like my beloved baby. Actually, just recently, like, got a runner-up award in like innovative packaging, but essentially it sort of launched on the earlier days. I know there's a few more brands now that have launched it, but it was that shaving balm situation. So I think it was probably like 2 years ago now, I saw one Korean sort of brand coming up with a different version of it. And then we were able to, with our NPD team, send them essentially to, you know, one of the Asian countries and get them to source this product. And I was like, find this. Yeah. We need this. Yeah. And we're doing a cleansing balm. Yeah. And the cleansing balm's going to be butter scented, like have that sort of bakery feeling. And we're going to call it cleansing butter balm. And I've got the exact idea of how I'm going to launch this product. Yeah. So I think that is when marketing and NPD, product innovation, go hand in hand, because the marketer should know what the market wants as well. Agree. And the new formats are amazing. I love the sticks. I love the balms. I think now going forward, like anyone in the skincare space, like neck care, that's the new big thing. It's the new next thing. A lot of people, tech neck, I know that's not a real official term in terms of like what causes neck concerns, but I think interesting formats for specific areas are what's going to pop off. So taking a particular product and not just launching it in the same packaging somebody else has or a jacket in the same sort of style somebody else has. Agree. And doing it differently. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm going to just to end, I'm going to do a rapid fire. Yeah. Top of my head. Okay, you just said what you think the innovative next thing is going to be like in the industry. What about fashion? Fashion. She hates rapid fire as well, guys. I'm not a rapid fire person. I need to sit and ponder. Yeah. Well, look, okay, so the current thing is like the whole like performative hiking Dolomites situation. How fucking funny is it? I love it. I think it's hilarious. I made an ad last night with that as the background. But I love it. And also I saw Alex Davidson, you know, with the red hair. I did too, with PE Nation, and red thing. She looks fucking hot. Dude. If I'm hiking the fucking Dolomites, I better look that good. I know. Truly. Agreed. Okay. Fashion, what's the next thing? What are we currently seeing? I think a lot of brands are playing into the space of lakeside camping, hiking era. Nature. So is something once again turning off, getting in nature. Exactly. It all flows in adjacent to sort of that, and we can see now fashion going in cycles. Obviously, sort of that rock boho chic. So that early days, like Kate Moss vibe with like the leather boots, the smudged eyeliner, the white peasant dresses, all that vibe. So Spell Designs are about to pop right back off again. So that area. I literally had this conversation yesterday with someone very interesting that's going to be on the potty after Taren that said the same thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Jewelry. I'm just being selfish here, guys. Interesting. So I'm trying to think about, okay. Well, it's coinciding to like the boho area. What the wooden beads? I was literally just thinking like this wooden cross I used to wear when I was like, in school. How about Kame fucking launches a little owl moment? The hanging owl. I had a hanging owl. I know. But I wore to Platinum nightclub, guys. But I do think that's the next thing. Okay, I want to go something really rogue just to finish off. Yeah. Not beauty, because we've spoken about beauty, neck care, fashion. Oh, what about health? Oh, I love this question because I have been absorbed into the wellness space. Apparently, like health and wellness has now overtaken like pharmaceuticals by however much. Like it's wild. So it's the new thing. So people now are obviously like, I'm an Oura Ring girly. I love it. I'm by no means like beholden to my Oura Ring. Like I just like to know how I've slept well, because traditionally I've been a bad sleeper. I like to know if I've had a good sleep and try to optimize my sleep because So sleep
I
health.
think I know where you're going.
Sleep health for this, like 100%.
Oh my God, you know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
The Aura Ring covers.
Oh, in terms of like accessory.
Yeah,
I love,
that's what I thought.
do love those. However, my Aura Ring is chunky and having something on top. And it was really, you could do like a cheaper version, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. But I do think health and wellness is a massive thing.
Health and wellness, and I think
we had the red light panels. I wonder what's going to be next. Like we had the blue light glasses, the red light panel. I do wonder what's going to kind of be that next trend thing that we go into.
Yeah, well, I'm like a book talk girly.
We had the fucking corded headphones as well.
Yeah, back to that. What else? Like, I'm just trying to do all the basics at the moment. Replace all my plastic Tupperware.
Yeah.
Try to get some filtered water up in here.
Are you not filtered water yet?
Nothing connects to my tap. I need to get it fully mounted in underneath.
I've got a Brita bottle, but it's supposed to not be that good anyway.
See, I don't fuck with that shit. I need like top of the line or nothing, or I won't do anything about it.
Okay. Guys, if we have any questions that we want to come back, ask Taren, send us a DM. Where do we find you?
Oh, my little personal.
Where's it? Honestly, guys, I'm trying to get this person. No conversation.
Okay.
Where do we find you?
Taren Anderson.
Is that it? Just Taren
Taren Anderson.
We'll put the link in all the show notes. If anybody has any information for you, where are we finding you? Thank you so much for being here.
That's okay. It's so annoying because I thought of something like that. I was just like, the next thing after.
Oh my God, no, quick, go.
So
chuck it in.
When I was in America, the functional drinks. So the not necessarily drinking alcoholic drinks, a lot of sort of like your herbal drinks that sort of give you like that little bit of like buzz, but still something. So I think that's going to be the next thing like here in Australia to really kind of take off.
Yeah, agree. Okay, we'll leave you with that. Bye, Queens.
Bye.
Bye.